Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Ground and Pound podcast, best bets video for UFC Paris. Imavov taking on Borralho in the main event. And as always, if you're enjoying the content here on the Ground and Pound podcast, hit that like and subscribe button as we talk props, parlays, and money lines. And without further ado, let's kick things off with the slam of the week. This bet is hitting roughly around at a 70% clip here on the channel. Looking to bounce back this week. And as always, this is the one that I put the most money on, and kicking things off with the first leg here of Umar C. There's no secret, he obviously did have a bit of a stinker performance in his last fight against Menefield. I think he bounces back here in his home country of Paris, France. I like him to get it done inside the distance, but we're just going to take him money line here against Ribeiro. I think that he mixes in the grappling, which he didn't do in his previous fight. He looks to get this fight to the ground, beats him up with ground and pound, and then finds the submission late, takes the back, and finds the rear naked choke is going to be my prediction. I like Umar C here. He's very talented, obviously very, very tall and rangy for the division. I think that he can muscle Ribeiro to the ground early, get the back, and find the choke here, kicking things off for our first leg of our slam of the week. And for our second leg here, we have Fernandez. Caio Fernandez. I'm not sure how you pronounce that first name there, but Fernandez is an absolute problem. This guy's got fantastic kicks. Obviously a short notice replacement here in Harry Hardwick. And I liked Fernandez potentially to upset Faraz Ziam in his original opponent. This guy's got fantastic calf kicks, obviously trains with Jose Aldo, does a good job of mixing up kicks to the body and the head. And I think on short notice, he's a tough out for anybody. So I do think that Harry Hardwick obviously is a decent fighter when you watch tape on him. He has decent boxing, he has decent grappling, but I think this is a big step up in competition, especially late notice replacement here. Give me Fernandez here to round out the confidence slam of the week. I try to get you guys about close to even money as we can. We got minus 108 on this one. I do think that Umar C wins inside the distance if you're looking for a little bit more juice. However, I'm just going to take both of these guys money line here for the slam of the week, getting back in the win column here on the best bets video here on the Ground and Pound podcast. And next up, we have the chalk parlay of the week. And I like this one. This one could even be the slam. If you guys don't like the first one, I like this one here to get it done. We've got Rufi in the co-main event, KO or decision here against Benoit Saint-Denis. I think that he's most likely going to put Benoit Saint-Denis out on the feet. Obviously a fantastic kickboxer, fantastic striking. Obviously been compared to early Conor McGregor with the style that he has, the hands low, the karate style. And the guy's obviously an absolute showman, fighting over at Fighting Nerds. His training partner and obviously Fighting Nerds teammate, fighting in the main event. Obviously somebody he's been sparring with, training up for this camp, and I think that he puts Benoit Saint-Denis out. We're going to take him KO or decision here, just in case Benoit Saint-Denis proves to be a lot more durable than people think that he is at this point in his career. We've seen it in the past that he's shown a lot of toughness. I do think that he's going to knock him out here. I do think that Rufi's going to find the KO. However, we're going to take him KO or decision here for the first leg of our chalk parlay. And for the second leg, we've got Sam Page Hughes here to get this one done, money line. We're going to talk a little bit about her later on in the prop section, but I think that she's a much better fighter than Shauna Mama B. Bannon. I think that she can pretty much win this fight wherever it goes. I think that she's going to mix in the wrestling here, get the fight to the ground, beat her up with ground and pound, and maybe find a late finish. I like Sam Hughes to get it done with the wrestling, but I think if she puts the pace and the pressure on Shauna Bannon, I do think that she can definitely have success in the striking. She obviously is a track and field coach as well. Her cardio is an absolute weapon, especially in this division. And I do think that she's going to get this one done to round out the second leg of our chalk parlay, sitting at plus 106 here for the second leg of our best bets video. And next up, we're going to talk a little bit about the money line here on Nassourdine Imavov here in the main event. This fight to me is a 50-50 coin flip, and I think if you can get plus money on either side, I think it's value. But I do think that Imavov here is being very, very heavily underestimated, When you look at Caio Borralho, obviously a 16-fight win streak, Fighting Nerds, and he opened as the underdog and moved to the favorite. Everybody lopsidedly bet Caio Borralho, and I think that people are underestimating Imavov, and I do think that that's been really the story of his career so far. Imavov's been underestimated. He has good wrestling, good kickboxing. I think he's the better better wrestler out of the two. I think Borralho is the better pure jiu-jitsu grappler. And if you talk about the power on the feet, I think Imavov is probably a little bit more technical, a little bit more comfortable in the striking. And I do think that he can walk down a guy like Carlo Borralho. And I think he has a little bit more pop in the hands. We've seen in a few of his fights, he has rocked a few of his opponents. And I think that if he does get on top here, I think he's going to be able to hold Borralho down. I do think he's got to mind his P's and Q's with throwing up triangles and arm bars. He needs to make sure that he stays safe in the guard of Borralho. But one of the things I think people are really underestimating here is that Imavov himself obviously is going to be fighting in his home country. All of the big moments in the rounds, obviously the crowd is going to be on his side. And at getting him at plus money here on a full camp, fully trained for this guy, Borralho, if it comes down to the grappling, I like him. If it comes down to the striking, I think that he can definitely have success. So I think in a 50-50 fight, taking plus money here on the Frenchman in his home turf, I don't think it's a bad play. Give me Imavov here, plus 110 for our first money line play here on the best bets. And next up, we have Anton Deli. I'm probably butchering that name, but here in a pick'em fight, 50-50 fight. If you watch tape on both of these guys, it's grappler versus striker. And I do think that Tybura here at 39 years old, he's a little bit chinny. I don't necessarily think he's going to be able to get this fight to the ground against Anton Deli. And I do think that Delia's striking and his hand speed here is definitely going to be the difference maker. If you look at Delia's pretty much his training up until the last sort of year and a half, it's been over at Tom Aspinall's gym, training with a lot of high-level heavyweights over there. Obviously, some of the best sparring partners that a heavyweight could ask for. He's the younger guy in this matchup, looking to make his UFC debut and really land in the UFC with a splash. I think the chinny Tybura here shows his face. I think Delia finds the knockout most likely, but we're going to take him here minus 110 for our second money line play. And next up, we've obviously got the dog of the week, my favorite betting underdog on the entire card. And for those of you that haven't seen the full highlight reel tape, this week's dog of the week is none other than Rhys McKee. And I like him to get it done here. If you're interested, check out the full highlight reel tape. There'll be a link in the description. There'll be a link at the end of the video for why I like Rhys McKee as my favorite betting underdog. We talk about the different keys to victory here for him against Axel Soler. I like him as the favorite betting underdog. Full highlight reel tape. Check it out at the end of the video. And we got to talk props, people, and there's two that really stand out to me this week. And I mentioned earlier with Sam Hughes, I like her to get it done inside the distance here against Shauna Bannon. The reason being is because I think on the feet, she can walk her down and pressure her. She can really put a pace on her and wear her down. We've seen with Shauna Bannon, she likes that kind of taekwondo karate style. You know, she doesn't have a ton of pop in the strikes. She really uses that push side kick. I think Sam Hughes can really just walk her down and let her hands go and not have to worry too much about what's coming back her way. If she wants to mix in the grappling, I think that she can definitely get on top, land big elbows like we've seen her do in previous fights, and really just put a pace on Mama B Bannon here, really, and just look for the finish like she's done in previous fights in the second and third round when her cardio takes over and opponent gets tired. I think this is definitely a good number to consider here for Sam Hughes inside the distance, sitting at plus 350. And we've also got Rhys McKee by KO at plus 400. I saw on tape multiple times with Axel Soler on the regional scene. He's getting popped and dropped by other strikers at 155. Rhys McKee is definitely a born finisher. You see in his highlight reel tape of the dog of the week, he's landing head kicks. He's landing straight right hands. He's coming into his own. He's got confidence now since his previous fight against Daniel Funza with the 3 knockdowns. He's going to be the bigger fighter here, the rangier fighter, usually fighting at 170. And I think that if he stuffs the takedowns here, he gets Axel Soler tired and he lands some sort of big right hand or a kick here. And I definitely think he can pull off the upset here with the KO, sitting at plus 400. I like him to get it done here for our second prop of the week here on the Best Bets video. And I have to let you guys know what's coming on the channel. We've got the full card breakdown for UFC Paris. Carlos and I have already done that. That's live on the channel. If you want a detailed breakdown of each individual fight from both your boys here on the Ground and Pound podcast, that video is for you. And as I mentioned earlier, the Dog of the Week video, my favorite betting underdog on the entire card. Check that video out. A link should be popping up for you shortly, along with my straight to the point quick picks video, full card breakdown, 15 minutes or less. If you don't have a lot of time in the week, that video is for you. Confident level traffic light system under each pick as well. And as always, if you're enjoying the content here, hit that like and subscribe button, and we'll catch you in the next one. Peace.